So hello and welcome back to Go Again Gaming. My name is Az, and today we're going to be looking at 5 awesome things about Flesh and Blood the card game from a noob like me. I've only been invested in this game for the last 48 hours or so, so these are 5 awesome things that I think are going to propel the game to absolute awesomeness. And I come from a background of Magic the Gathering. I play a lot of Magic the Gathering, play a lot of board games. I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon in the past, and I'm just generally a massive nerd that loves fantasy, loves sci-fi, loves RPGs and all of that sort of stuff. So I'd like to think I'm well versed enough to point out these things and why I think they're going to be pivotal for this game going forward. So the first thing we want to point out is the lore, the backstory, the world building that's going on in Flesh and Blood. And it's been going for about a year or two, and already their website is chock-a-block full of awesome things about the lore. And I think lore is probably one of the most important things for new games. Because you want a fleshed out world. You want people to be able to connect to the characters that they're ultimately going to be in the game. Flesh and Blood is a really simple premise. I mean, I'll get onto this later, but you have to select a hero within the world of Flesh and Blood to represent yourself and your deck on the battlefield when you're playing against an opponent. So you do need characters with lore that you can connect to as a person, and especially with this game it is very important. But the lore in this is so fleshed out. There's reams and reams and reams of information that you can access about each character, about the different locations in the game, and yeah, there's loads to sort of delve into here. So if I just go on to the next screen, I'll be able to show you what it is I'm referring to here. So let's go on to the screen share. So this is the world of Wraith that you can visit on the website, and you've got Aria. You click on Aria, a mythical sanctuary. Look at the artwork. All of this stuff about Aria, folk tales, crossing the threshold, people of Aria, the Everfest Carnival, what goes on there, crafts, the job titles of people that are in Aria, the tides of change, the legend of the Exalted One, creatures that appear in Aria. There's just so much lore that you can sink your teeth into. And speaking of lore, you can expect a lot of lore from this channel in spoken word, voiceover. That is something I really love doing, is like making videos for stories, doing weird voices and stuff. So you can expect to see a lot of lore on this channel. Yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. But the lore is absolutely awesome. And if you go onto the screen share again here, you go onto heroes and you click on the heroes of Flesh and Blood, you'll be able to see all of these heroes that they're bringing out. You click on one, for instance. Let's click on Viserai, the Rune Blade from the Arcane Rising set, and you go onto the story here. You can come to expect a lot of story on this channel, as I said already. But yeah, look at this, all this stuff that you can read about Viserai and the reason he is the character that he is. There's even some illustrations there as well, which is brilliant. So yeah, it's going to be. You got another, but there you got Viserai's tale continues. If you want to click that, you can have a look at his story. But yeah, the lore is prevalent in this game, and rightly so. I mean, you need to connect with the character that you're going to portray in the game. So let me just go back onto the talking head. So you need to connect with the character that you're going to be portraying in the game, and therefore the lore is very important. So that's the first awesome thing about Flesh and Blood, is that the lore is there. You can get invested in the world, and the world building is fantastic. And another thing that comes along with the world building, number 2, is the artwork. And the artwork of this game is just absolutely fantastic. So again, let's go on to screen share again. It's going to be Viserai Runeblood. Look at that artwork. It is just absolutely fantastic. You can see a little bit of the artwork in the background here as well. You've got Katsura in the background of the video as well. The animations are awesome. The artwork is quality. Let me just go and have a look at more artwork for you. Look at this. This artwork is awesome. Again, if you go onto the world of Wraith and you have a look at the illustrations like earlier, the mythical sanctuary. Look at that. Don't you just want to travel there? You want to find out what all the mythical sanctuary is about? Look at that. That is the festival. The festival going on there. What's the festival called? Can't remember what it's called now. The Everfest Carnival. That's it. That's going on down there. So you got awesome stuff. You got the Demonstry or the Demonistry, Realm of the Forbidden. Look at the artwork there. It looks absolutely awesome. And you've just got history of what's going on. So artwork, world building, lore, all ties in together. But the artwork is definitely the second awesome thing about this game, is that the artwork and the aesthetics really do help build that world. There we go. Metrics, City of Wonder. You got a steampunky vibe going on here for all the sort of mechanologist classes as well. So yeah, again, the artwork is just fantastic. Look at this, Mysteria, steeped in tradition. Look at that. So you got the sort of Eastern influences there, like Katsura and Era's sort of realms. It's got Eastern influences there, Japanese sort of influences. Look at that character there on the rock. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse shake hand. That character there on the rock, look of his hat and staff. You got the cascading waterfalls. It just looks absolutely beautiful. Mysteria, the pits, the underworld. Look at that. There's shady sort of assassin realm. You got like a little tavern going on here with some dicey stuff going on there. So yeah, it really does help the whole game that the artwork and the world is already fleshed out. I mean, it's pretty much two reasons to love the game from the off, is the artwork and the aesthetics, and the artwork, aesthetics, and the story and the lore that's already there, the world building that's already there. So yeah, again, that is a fantastic thing with regards to this game, is that the lore and the world is already built for you to explore and sort of get into, really. And it's pivotal in a game like this. It really is, because obviously you're selecting your character and you have to get behind that character. So yeah, it's awesome. So let's go into the third thing now about the game, which I think is awesome. And that is the premise of the game. So as I was mentioning just now, with regards to your character, the premise of the game is you are a hero in this world, and you are facing off, for whatever reason, you are facing off against another hero of the world. And that is your opponent. So you choose a hero, your opponent chooses a hero, you equip your hero with loads of different sort of weapons and armour that you crack from your pack so that you get, and you suit them up, and you head into the battle with your deck that is then built of ability cards, item cards, attack cards, defense reactions, attack reactions, all sorts of things that play into your character. And your character can only have certain cards that match their class. So again, the premise is just fantastic. You pick a character that you really like because of the lore, because of the way they look, and then you go into battle against somebody else who is going to be potentially the same hero or a different hero, wearing different weapons and armor, using different abilities, using different classes against you, and just fighting to the death until one of you is just a pile of flesh and blood. So yeah, just a fantastic and easy premise to get hold of. Is just you are a fantasy character facing off in battle against another fantasy character. And that fantasy character is of your choosing. You go and choose from the massive plethora of heroes that's already there for the past 1 or 2 years, but there's going to be more. There's going to be loads of different classes coming out, and I can already see that they're mixing and matching some sort of classes as well. You've got, in the early game, you had the brutes, but now you have shadow brutes. So in the future, I think the speculation I'm having is that you're probably going to have multi-classes, and that is going to be awesome, because you're going to be able to mix and match decks from different sort of classes. You're going to be able to include shadow cards and brute cards, or let's say there's elements, so you could include ice attacks and warrior attacks in one deck if you're an ice warrior Ice Warrior character, for instance. So yeah, the premise of it is awesome, and I absolutely love it. It's made by gamers for gamers, and it goes to show. It really, really does the way it's built up. So the premise is one of the other good things about the game, and it does borrow from elements of board games like Marvel Legendary, where you choose a character and you have a certain deck of cards that only that character can use. So it builds on that sort of out-of-the-box deck building board games, but it also takes inspiration from very, very popular formats in Magic the Gathering, such as Commander. So in Commander, you choose a legendary creature from Magic the Gathering's lore, and you lead that character's deck into battle against your opponents. So it's very, very similar. They've taken on the premise that you choose a legendary character that you can connect with. In this case, it's a hero that you can connect with, and you build a deck based on their abilities, based on their class, to overcome your opponent. So the premise is there, and that is what I think a lot of us are transitioning over to this game are experiencing, is the sort of connection factor from the premise of the game. So yeah, the third awesome thing about Flesh and Blood is the premise of it all. It's very, very simple, and you can definitely get behind it. The fourth thing awesome about Flesh and Blood is the rules. They are very, very clear-cut, very simple, and very, very thematic. And there's going to be loads of room to be able to play with the rules in the future, because it is very, very simple as to what you can do in the game. But there's so much thinking behind it. And I'm going to go into this more and more as I sort of learn the cards, and as I sort of learn the history of the game and the decks and stuff that have been released. But it's not like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, where you have to have resources in your deck. You have to have lands in Magic the Gathering in your deck to be able to cast your spells. In Pokemon, you need to have energy cards in order to equip them to your Pokemon so they can use their abilities. In this deck, every single card in your deck can be used as a resource to fuel other cards in your deck. So there's never going to be mana screw. There's never going to be not enough energy. There's never going to be dead cards in your hand, because you can always pitch them, is what the mechanic is. You can pitch these cards to give you resources to activate other abilities on your weapons, your armor, your hero, your attacks, your defense reactions. All of these cards are able to be used, whether that's the ability or whether you're pitching them to use another ability on a card in your hand. So the rules are very, very good. I'm not going to go through all the rules today, because I'm just pointing out all the things that I think are awesome about the game, and the rules is just one of those things. The main thing that I realised in this game is that there's never a dead card in your hand, because you can either pitch it to fuel an ability, or you can use it to defend against an attack. That's another thing you can do with it. I completely forgot. So again, there's loads of things that you can do, but the rules are fantastic. So I definitely recommend watching the professor from the Tolarian Community College's video on how to play. So Tolarian Community College, massive personality in the TCG world. So he's got a video on it. Go and watch that, and yeah, come back to this video and say, "Az, you were right. The rules look awesome, and I cannot wait to play." And finally, the last thing that is awesome about this game, the fifth thing that is awesome about this game, is the ethos of the company that make it. They're very, very supportive of content creators. They're very, very supportive and care about the local game store, and they want to see the community absolutely thrive based on this game. There's no garbage online client that you can use. There's no sort of MTG Arena equivalent. They're not trying to get into esports. They're not trying to employ Mr. Beast to promote their content. They're not trying to do any of that stuff. All they want to do is get the game into local game stores, get people playing in the flesh and blood. They want people there playing in store, doing the events, having a great while of a time, and that is the reason why we play trading card games. We don't play trading card games to sit in front of a computer and play them against opponents and then spam emotes saying "good game, good game, good game." We don't. That's not what we do that for. We do it for the interaction, you know, the competitiveness, the feeling of overcoming another opponent that you've just met in a random room. You know, it's all about those feelings, and Flesh and Blood is very, very supportive of local game stores, the community at large as well, and they give a lot of preview cards to smaller YouTubers, smaller content creators, and it just encourages the community to grow massively together. Yeah, I'm very much proud to be a part of it now, and I can see as well, I mean, I just like posting in Reddit saying I'm a new content creator, can't wait to get, you know, involved with the community, can't wait to play with you all, and I've had some lovely responses from people. I've already been invited into a Discord for a online UK based retailer that's stocking Flesh and Blood, and I've already got some people subscribe to me through there as I'm posting in their sort of Flesh and Blood thread on their page. And a shout out to the Card Vault. They're the UK based retailer that I'm in the Discord for at the moment, so thanks for reaching out to me. But yeah, 5 awesome things about Flesh and Blood. The lore is fantastic. The artwork is just awesome for world building. You can really get immersed in the artwork. The premise of the game is so simple and easy to connect with. The rules are very, very clear cut, and the main takeaway that I've discovered is that there's never any dead cards in hand. And the ethos of the company and Legend Story Studios is just the community, supporting the local game stores, especially during what has been probably the rubbishest years of all of our lives, I reckon. So definitely a game that you should get behind, definitely a game that you will see more if you like and subscribe to the channel. I think that little bell notification if you do want to be notified of any future videos. But I have been and that has been 5 awesome things about Flesh and Blood, the TCG, from a noob. How long will I be a noob for? Who knows? But we will see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.